Okay, guys, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I'll be your friendly referee today because today we're carrying on with our ongoing adventure, playing Mongoose Publishing's outstanding science fiction role-playing game, Traveler, 2nd edition. And we are using it to play an adventure called Care Package. Part of the material for today's session may be drawn from an adventure of the same name, published in the Journal of the Traveler's Aid Society, Volume 8. So if you don't want to have spoilers for one of the adventures from one of the volumes of the Traveler's Aid Society, then proceed with caution. If you don't care about that, or if you have already read the adventure, well then welcome, and let me introduce you to the stars of today's session, the crew of the Lady Luck themselves. I'll go the order I've got you guys on the screen here. Why don't you tell us who you are and who you're playing tonight. First up, we've got Jeffrey.
Hey everybody, I'm Jeff, and I'm playing the stubborn Dr. Mara Dalian.
Very nice. Next up is our resident armor smith, Dave.
Hi everyone, I'm Dave, and I am playing Grandma, and she's very inquisitive. Now, since Jeff's already personal characteristics.
Nice. And last but certainly not least is Andrew.
Hi everyone, I'm Andrew, and I'm playing Kiri Gunny. Oh, what the hell's her last name? I've already forgotten.
Sherman, I believe.
Oh, the Sherman. It is Sherman. And I'm the heavy.
Nice. Now this, let's see here. Jeff and, well, I guess first off, we have our all Canadian content tonight, so, which is rarely the case. And
all female.
Yeah. Let's see here. We'll bring you back to the surface. So I think the last time that Dave was here is when you guys had driven off the folks who were attacking the community outside. You used
oh god, really?
Yeah. So I think it's 2 sessions that Dave has missed.
Oh
but
boy,
what did Dave miss thus far? What's happened in the last 2 sessions?
Sorry, Dave. You got Jeff and I to remember what happened. I'm terrible at this.
You can just tell me to roll initiative, and I'll be fine. That works too.
Well, I believe that is definitely.
I'm seeing the section up on the screen. So
yeah. Okay, 2 sessions. I'm not going to get this in the right order though. Okay, so we fended off their attackers. You were there for all that. So we went inside, met them. Nita and Mashka met up, and they were happy to see each other, yada yada. We met with a dude as well. I forget his name. Who's kind of Reza, who is one of the leaders here as well. Mashka wasn't too happy about getting a summons from Daddy to leave, and she predictably did not want to go and all this. Didn't want to abandon the people here. So we kind of forced the issue by saying, well, Nita's going to come with us. And this was a surprise to Nita. And she also was not happy with this idea. But I think we basically kind of manipulated them into thinking that if it's a they both have to go or nobody goes situation, they're both going. It's kind of an aggressive.
That she was going to get killed if she stayed behind.
Yeah, and they're both kind of mutually accepting that they can't, like, one of them is going to die if they don't go. So they're kind of begrudgingly going along. It's kind of turned into a rather aggressive rescue bordering on kidnapping, but we all already kind of feel comfortable with that.
Gunny's hubby did frame it was as if they stay here, everybody dies, no one carries on with the cause. If the two of them go, they can carry on with the cause.
Yeah. So while that was happening, in fact, you should probably go watch the episode if you get a chance, because it was actually really interesting. The marrying of mechanics with roleplay that night, because Dr. Mara learned of some injured people in the med bay. Jeff, do you want to talk about that part? Monopolize this.
I mean, there wasn't a lot of detail, just that there were people here in this village or town or whatever it is that were, grievously injured, and if they did not get surgery, they would likely die, and I was capable of saving their lives, and so Dr. Mara made the decision to operate, and I believe it was either 6 hours or
It was 6 or 8 hours.
It was some kind of long hours of operation required, and it sort of forced us to bunker down here a lot longer than everyone else wanted to. And what's George's character's name?
Jim.
Jim was trying to convince Mara to leave, and she was having none of it. Basically.
Well, there was a pressing matter for why to leave too. Gunny
the
did.
Timelines, the timelines for GTFOing, kind of were accelerated. So I went up top of the dome to that little platform there, just to keep it a watch while we're doing all of this. And while I was up there, a speeder bike came hovering down the road, stopped about a mile out or so. It hid behind some rocks, and the figure on it disappeared. But the figure, I couldn't see that well from that far out, but two things kind of tipped off. One, the existence of a speeder bike on a planet like this with 1950s tech, so clearly somebody important has this. And two, really looked like a long flowing cloak was flying off the back of the figure. So let everyone know we got a problem, blah blah blah. Kept my eyes open for this thing. That session ended with the distinct sound of pitons on the side of the metal dome climbing up the dome. And the argument between Jim and Mara about we need to go.
Yeah,
so last session.
That session, yeah.
Yeah. So last session then. We started with Sanction coming up the dome, me kind of deciding, am I going to cut and run, or am I going to try to do something here? I got a very lucky shot off. The rolls were pretty impressive. I was stunned. And the Sanction took a railgun shot to the face and flew back off the dome. And I booked it. Dr. Mara continued to refuse to leave and stop the surgeries. He was adamant he's going to try to save as many people as possible. As we were trying to reconvene and get ourselves together, I forget now, the Mashka and Nita went to the skimmer, which was on in the main kind of oh my god, what do you call it? Your band name?
The subterranean cul-de-sac.
Cul-de-sac, yeah, the subterranean cul-de-sac.
CD's still available with self-addressed stamped envelope.
So they were there. Javi decided to help Dr. Mara. Jim wasn't here. George wasn't there last session, but Javi was helping Dr. Mara as just a med tech, pass me this tool or something kind of thing. To try to help things go a little bit quicker. While that was happening, I was trying to make my way to them, but it was clear that the Sanction had already gotten back up and was opening up the hatch, and so it was a bit of a frantic darting through corridors and whatever to try to get to them. I managed to hide again and avoid the Sanction, who then also disappeared into the complex. I got a sniper position up top, and then the Sanction destroyed our skimmer, or the engine of the skimmer, from a rail shot from somewhere. Mashka and Nita they somehow survived. It was a very precision shot. I once again got a very nice roll, and luckily got another rail shot off to him, or the Sanction. Two of them, in fact, I think.
Nope, just one shot.
Just the one?
You shoot it twice thus far, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, oddly, the surgery's ongoing throughout this whole thing, and so it climbed down, and then Reza and I went to go investigate, because the whole time I was making my way down to the bottom and the surgery's going on. Like, it's about 15 minutes pass, and there had been no movement from the alley from which the sanction had shot. Reza and I went to go investigate, and the sanction was gone. No sign of it. But we learned some important things. Number one, there was blood on the ground. And there were elements of ceramic armor that had been broken off from the shot laying on the ground as well. And there was a trail of blood leading back into the alley. So we know this thing can bleed. We know it's not invulnerable. We know that our tech can hurt it. Mara is still finishing up and wrapping up. She only needs like a few more minutes. Javi left at this point, comes down, and he's working on trying to fix the skimmer, because it's the only way we have to get out of here. The alternative, if we can't fix it or can't find the parts, is that Reza and the others, because they're in for everything, because they know what the stakes are. So we said maybe we need to start like evacuating, moving, because this sanction at this point might just call down a nuke and destroy the whole thing. So the plan is, a backup plan is that we use the Striders to make it to the next settlement, underground or overground. I forget which. Probably, I think over. I don't know.
Oh, you guys hadn't actually talked about using the underground, but you could.
Yeah, so that's the kind of a backup plan. If we can't get the skimmer going quickly, that's how we're going to try to get out of here with everybody.
Yeah, and I think just for the skimmer part, you're not going to be able to get the skimmer functioning again, at least in the same way with the propulsion. You were just going to get the anti-grav.
Yeah. The hobby's working on getting the anti-grav functioning so that because basically the Striders could then pull it like a wagon. Yep, was the idea. And then we left off with Reza and I. We've split the party completely at this point. Reza and Gunny are starting to make their way down the alley to hunt down the sanction and try to. Because if it's injured, this might be the only opportunity we have. So we're gonna try to finish this. Yeah. What can possibly go wrong with this plan? Absolutely nothing. It's going to be fine.
All right. Any questions, Dave?
Like a good pickle. I mean,
yeah. All right. Then why doesn't everyone give us a D6 roll? Or sorry, a D3 roll. And D3? Yeah, D3 roll. And let's see how much luck you guys are playing with today.
Oh, come on.
Gunny is choosing to go in hard mode.
Jeff's not gonna. Yep. I mean,
Okay. You guys have 5 luck for today.
Oh my goodness.
I suggest strongly that we do not mess around and find out.
Okay. So let's
the
talk.
person chasing the sanction.
Yeah. This. I may live to. I may not live to regret this decision.
So, does anyone have a mechanic?
Oh,
Gunny does. Among the 3 of you.
Sorry, a what?
Mechanic skill.
Mechanic.
Oh, mechanic skill. Okay. Yeah.
So then with Javi not here, that means Gunny, you were the only one with the skill in mechanic.
Oh. So maybe Gunny is not running down the sanction and going on a hunting trip.
Mm-hmm.
Or we have to have, okay, maybe we play it as I'm just about to go down the alley. Rama, you're here. Maybe we can make this into a choice of some kind.
What are your thoughts, Rama, on what should be done here next? Dr. Mara will be done in, I think it's like a half hour left.
It was almost done. Yeah.
She'll stabilize everybody. Then it's a question of whether you're bringing people out of here or if you're planning on taking this thing out or trying to.
Well, if Gunny's wounded it, maybe it needs a little while to recuperate and or collect itself before it comes back, in which case we could make a break for it. Making a break for it's always my strategy.
There is also that Gunny knows where this thing's like hover cycle was parked. So it was parked about a kilometer away.
Yeah, that's true. We had also thought. Well, that was the other important thing too. To think about with what we've learned about the sanction. I mean, aside from the more important thing is that we know it bleeds, but the very fact that it took a speeder bike out here also tells us something, that it does not have, like, it also needs transportation to get here. It cannot move any faster than we can on foot, or at least not very much faster than us on foot. What skill
do you need to fly a hover cycle?
Sorry?
What skill do you need to use a hover cycle?
Flyer.
Flyer.
Oh.
So I've got a point in flyer, and I could make a break for its hover cycle, and
it's only a mile out.
Kilometer.
Yeah.
Canadian content here, Andrew. Come on.
Right. Yeah. Right. Sorry. My bad.
What's a mile?
Yeah. No. It's some unit of measurement.
How many meters is that?
Dumbasses in the world use. I'm sorry. I don't actually mean that. But please, guys, convert. Yeah. It's only a click out. So.
It's like 15 minutes at a walk.
Yeah.
Or if I could ride on the back of someone's
Dust Rider? I mean, okay, 5 minutes maybe then?
And then someone and I go out on a Dust Rider, I jump off, grab the cycle, and...
Maybe Reza goes with you.
So you have a fair bit
Reza's got Javi's gun right now, too.
Rama has a fair bit of Streetwise as well. Do you think there's anything to be cautious of with respect to the sanctions hover cycle?
Oh, it's probably booby-trapped. Which is another thing. We could just do something to, like, set it off and blow it up, and then it's no good. Like, double check it's booby trapped. Yeah, it's booby trapped. I just gotta attach a wire to this switch right here, step back about 50 feet, and pull. Boom.
Well, and you guys have what Gunny has demonstrated too, especially for those anything that's got AP with it. A ghost weapon is exceptionally effective. Oh, the Baron's not here today. Baron's got a very, very good weapon for doing that kind of stuff. Rama, you got... Yeah, your mag rail pistol doesn't have a lot of penetration with it, though. Dr. Mara, you've only got a stunner.
Yeah. I can stun him.
So, like, it could be... you could try and set off...
Couldn't Gunny just shoot it?
If Gunny's out there, then yeah, but it is concealed behind a rock, though, so... Or she could try and shoot through the rock. That's definitely true, but... So what are you guys thinking? What's the priority here? The sanction has seemingly retreated somewhere else in this community. Half an hour from now, Dr. Mara is going to be done. I'll tell you how long it's going to take for the repairs. Because, yeah, Gunny could go with the... so do you have grenades? You do. Yep. Gunny still has a couple.
Got a couple stun grenades. Flashbangs. So really this comes down to a couple things. It's what do we think the sanctions priority is going to be? It's injured. It's probably not used to being injured often. It could be focused on completing its mission and killing Mashka at all costs. And so it could be looking for a place to hide, bandage itself up, and come back out again and get the element of surprise and drop on us again. Or it could just, as I said before, call in, I don't know if they have airstrikes or whatever, and just nuke the whole damn place. Or, depending on how injured it is, because we don't really know that, maybe it's also making its way back to its hover bike to go back to base or ship or whatever and get whatever it needs to finish the job. So
Medical supplies or different weapons.
yeah. So we don't know that.
I would guess from what we heard before about these things that it's probably got all the tools it needs with it. And if anything, we've only got a short time to delay. It's smart enough probably to prepare for a lot of eventualities.
Yeah. Okay.
Especially with high level tech. And if you think it might nuke this place, that's even more encouragement for you to just get under the hood of that hover device and get it rolling.
Yeah. Fair.
'Cause if we're rolling along in the hover wagon with being pulled by the Landstriders, we could take shots at it if it chases. Maybe you blow up its bike when it's chasing us.
Maybe. I mean, if on that bike, I suspect it'll be able to catch up to us real quick.
Well, then we can all shoot at it, not just you.
The reason I'm worried about just the nuking the whole place, not just because it's what I would do, but because the sanction, there's so much mythos surrounding the sanction. There's a certain element of like soft power at play here too, that and the idea that the sanction can be hurt, the idea that the sanction is not invulnerable, is not something that whoever's in charge of the sanction is going to want to get out. So now, as far as I'm concerned, everybody here, their lives are forfeit as far as the sanction is concerned. I think that's another piece, which might be why it retreated, because now it has a secondary part of its mission it needs to accomplish. I don't know.
Again, more reason for us to just back up and get everyone into here.
Yeah, you're not wrong. We don't know how injured it is. It could have just been a flesh wound for all we know. And this going after it could be suicide. The only reason to go after it would be if we know for sure we can end it now, in which case no nuclear strike and it's gone. They're going to have to send a whole new one, by which point we're long gone.
If they even have more. Or
well, yeah.
I mean, we don't know that. Is there just a person in there?
Presumably, there are multiple sanctions, because multiple sanctions would be in action across the galaxy at any given time. So
the planet.
I assume it's an organization. Huh?
Remember, it's a planetary. They are agents of the Lords of Chamois. It's only this planet that has the sanctions.
Oh, okay. So there's a whole planet of these guys. Great, cool.
There is a full monastery, and like the equivalent of going nuclear may be sending 20 of these things after you guys.
Right. I'm
kind of just imagining these are basically Sodakar.
Kind of. That mixed with, 40K assassins.
Right, yeah, actually, 40K, yeah, now that you say that, this is definitely an Eversor assassin.
Exactly.
There's no winning, there's just delaying, basically, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like you have not heard, especially if you're intending on making your planet a agricultural, hub, making use of, fissionable weapons is probably not the best way to maintain an arable, environment. Whereas you're not wrong, like maintaining the mythos of the sanction is probably a pretty important thing. And you've seen what one of these can do. What could, a team of them do?
Yeah, what could 10 or 5? So let's get out of here.
So the discussion last time was to head back to Celsi, because Celsi is only, I think, 50 kilometers away as opposed to the 350 that the ship is. But, it may think that you're going to Celsi, so making a run for the ship may be the unexpected option.
Yeah.
While you're considering that too, to give you a decision on the repair to the hover components in the vehicle, the power source to it, that is going to take you 1d6 hours at a difficulty of 8, but you can speed that up. Remember, you can increase the time to 1d6 times 10 minutes to make it a DC 10 you're rolling against.
Wait, how do I do that?
So if you speed things up or you take more time, it adjusts the time by the difficulty is by 2, and it's one of the range increments or time increments that goes down. So, for instance, the task would normally take D6 hours in order to complete. To speed
8.
Yep, and if you speed it up to be D6 times 10 minutes instead of D6 hours.
And I assume the DC would go up to 10 or something then.
Then it goes up by 10 because it's one step down on the time is one step up in the difficulty.
No,
Similarly, if you took one
Kevin,
D6...
sorry, you said up by 10? Or because you said up by 10, or did you mean up to 10?
Up to 10.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Up by 10, I'm like,
no,
well,
by 10 is
off.
impossible. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's no way.
I mean,
So-
10 is still really hard in this game. So, just to be clear.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, 8 is an average difficulty. 10 is... Every step you take away from that, though, is away from the bell curve. So, it does get harder. You do have a repair kit, though, and I believe that grants +1 to your roll. So you at least have Javi to thank for bringing the toolkit along. Where is it here? Life Sciences, a scientific... Here we go, toolkit. Yeah, actually, it's already +2 because it's so much higher of a tech level.
You're still at 8. You're still at 8 then, if you're trying to go fast.
So it would be an 8 if you're going quick, a 6 if you're taking the 1d6 hours. So that's something else to consider is how long Gunny's going to take. And unfortunately, you don't know how long it's going to take until you start the task. So we make the roll after we see whether you're successful or whether you're unsuccessful. That's how Dr. Mara learned she was going to be doing surgery for 8 hours.
I could always abandon the task as well, and we do something else.
Really can't. You can abandon the task if you find that you need to at some point, but yeah.
So basically, once I say I'm going to do this action, and then I find out how long it's going to take, if it's like 6 hours, I'm stuck for 6 hours.
No. You can stop doing what you're doing. It's just that you're not going to know how long it is. And again, 6 hours is only if you're rolling against a difficulty of 6 using the toolkit.
Yeah. I just meant, yeah. Well, that makes sense to me. I was just worried that, like, well, wait, that seems a weird mechanic that, like, I'm not allowed to change what I'm doing for 6 hours now.
No,
but
no.
that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
I totally understand that. Like, I have to complete the roll to find out how long it's going to be. But yeah, I just meant that, like, after an hour, if circumstances change, I'll just leave.
Gunny is going to be, it sounds like, doing the mechanics then.
Yeah, I'll give it a shot.
Okay, so Gunny's doing that half an hour from now, well, probably 20 minutes from now. Dr. Mara will be done. Rama, what are you doing? Someone needs to keep an eye out for this sanction in case it comes back, and somebody needs to get the Dust Riders ready, one way or the other. And then once Dr. Mara has stabilized everybody, you're going to need to transport folks out, because not everybody in here is going to fit in the air raft. You'll have to prep some other stuff.
Right.
The decision you need to make, too, is whether you're going to go underground or whether you're going to go over land.
If we go, I think it has to be overland. If we go underground, like, unless I've misunderstood Kevin's description of this, my understanding is that the underground tunnels go from one settlement to another settlement. There's no offshoots, there's no off ramps or other tunnels that go everywhere, because this is not a very advanced civilization. So if we go underground, there is only the option of going to the next settlement over, which the section is almost certainly going to think is what we're doing. And we won't be able to know whether like, my fear would be that it's there when we get there and open up the door, and there it is with a railgun and shoots us. If we go overland, maybe there's ways that we can use the terrain, mask where we're going, and we could switch and go to the ship if we wanted.
Yeah, 100%.
Right. Even though we're in the open on the overland path, we have more option of hiding our possible plan.
Right. And even if we're wide open and we can't find any like rocks or stuff to kind of navigate between or hide, or if it's got a tracker on us or whatever, even if as Rama said, if this thing comes after us, we'll have more maneuverability and space to move around than we would in an enclosed tunnel. Right? We can move around. We can try to fight in a way that we couldn't in the tunnel.
That's fair.
And maybe we'll get lucky. A big storm will hit and it'll be low visibility. I mean, the skimmer, I'm assuming the skimmer's got some sort of, like, even if the engine's gone, the rest of the thing is mostly functional. Like, is there some sort of tracking thing on the skimmer that would help us with a pinging thing to show us where the ship is relative to the skimmer?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And
so, like,
I mean, your computers can pretty much do that. And then your and you guys have combuds as well too, so you can communicate that way. And you the skimmer itself when it has power, has a pretty advanced scanning system on it too.
Right. So like maybe we get lucky, and because Dave's here now, maybe we get lucky and get a really bad weather roll and get a storm. But we can still navigate through that because we still know where we're going.
Well, friendly fire there.
And, Dave, something else. I don't know if this happened when in the episode or in the session you were in, or the following one, but Javi jury rigged our comms essentially made it so they're protected against like hacking from external sources. I'm talking a lot. I'm going to shut up now.
No, that's right. That's the whole point. Yeah. Okay,
so role playing games.
Then, sounds like the decision's been made for which way to travel. What, Rama, do you wish to do while Gunny is going to be trying to start this mechanics task?
I'm probably more suited to keeping watch and understanding what's going on in the street or something like that than I am handling the animals and whatnot. So I will let one of the locals help set up the people or the equipment.
Okay. So then Reza will escort some of the uninjured folks down to go and like wrangle the Dust Riders and get the other wagons kind of set up and ready to go. Rama, what are you planning on doing? How are you planning on keeping watch here? What's your thought?
I think she's first going to survey like entrances and whatnot, like using her streetwise maybe to see where the alley goes. Maybe just not very far, but like just alley goes to here, and if you take a right, it goes to there and goes left. Okay, so try and figure out the number of entrances. And
that is technically making use of trying to be wise about the positioning of streets, but I think it's a little more literal application of the streetwise. I think it's more, streetwise is more a matter of like knowing how the cultural aspects of the things. It's probably a recon is what you're describing.
Okay.
Yeah, so
fine.
Recon and intellect, please go ahead and give us a roll, and then Gunny will turn our attention to you and your mechanics. Nice. Okay. So what you find is, it seems that you're, I guess, reminded of some of the security steps that Javi had taken, including things like, putting patches of pools of paint on the floor for external exits or entrances, so that if people came in and they were invisible, they'd still be leaving painted footprints across the ground. You also can tell that there are a couple of different ways that you could potentially get in here. Like, you guys did a pretty good job of trying to seal off the external entrances, but in here, there's tons of different ways of getting in. You've done a pretty decent job of setting up, like limiting the ways that people can get in here. That will be the difficulty that I would be rolling against to try and sneak in here. Are you satisfied with that number, or do you want to spend any luck to augment it?
I'll leave the luck for Gunny to fix the vehicle.
Okay. Then Gunny, if you're taking 1d6 times 10 minutes, it will be a mechanics roll with a +2. And remember, don't put the plus sign in, and you are not rolling with a boon or a bane.
Oh, yeah, I'm better. I think I had a boon or a bane last time, so nope, it's on normal.
Okay.
Okay.
And I have modifiers on 2. Don't put the plus sign in, otherwise the sanction shows up. And okay, so you need 1 luck to make that a success.
I think we got to do it.
All right.
One's not too bad.
Okay, and then Gunny, would you give us a d6 roll, please? This will be multiplied by 10. How many minutes it'll take you? Half an hour.
Well, hey, that's not too bad. It works out. Dr. Mara and I, same amount of time. Okay.
Yeah. Dr. Mara, would you give us a d6 roll, please?
All right.
You're probably going to want to roll low on this one.
Uh-oh. What was that, Kev? High, right? Real high.
Roll as high as you can.
Okay.
Roll 20 hates you so much.
Oh, it's unbelievable. It's like magic. It's
So, you are all working at your task. Dr. Mara, you finally finish up with it. Tell us what's going through your mind as you look over on all the lives you've saved over the past incredibly intense 8 hours.
I mean, I feel so relieved and, sort of justified in my stance of choosing not to leave. Like, right? Like, these people are they're saved. They're alive because we made this effort. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's probably been a long time since she's had a victory like this in her life. So this is a huge moment. She's probably exhausted and slumped in a chair, but like,
Yeah, I was going to say, do you wish...
huge smile on her face.
do you want to use medicine to give yourself some stimulants or something? Because you guys have been up, I think, or you at least have been up for, knocking on like 20 hours right now.
Yeah, 100%, because she knows that her team wants to leave right now.
Yeah.
So what's that, medic?
It'll be
Or
medic. Yeah.
physician?
Medic, and you get +2 from your med kit.
Okay.
We'll set the
this is
difficulty
good.
at a 10 here, because I'm assuming you want to have like just barely, barely.
Just squeaked by.
9. So what? Your medic
That's ridiculous.
is for your. Why is it plus?
Maybe
the +9 might include the +2 from your.
Oh, I think it probably does. So it's actually a 19.
Yeah, because your education is a 2, your medic is a 4. That should be a 6. Does your med kit give you a +3?
Oh, maybe. Maybe that was the adjustment we made last time.
Yeah. Let's see here, because that +9 is
Insane.
crazy huge.
It can't be +2 more. That just
No.
wouldn't be right.
Definitely, we've double counted something, and I think maybe it is a plus. It's +3 because you got a TL 14 med kit. So yeah,
Okay,
that is
so
right.
It should be a 19 is still.
Which is still incredible. Yeah. So you easily get yourself back up and running. Gunny, so you finish up. You walk out and you see Gunny is hard at work. The Gauss rifle is sitting next to her, and she's still underneath this thing, working away. Rama is still keeping an eye out for what's going on. In the half, it's probably been about 20 minutes that you've been working, Gunny, when Dr. Mara comes out. They have managed to get one other wagon up here with some dust riders in, and you can see, like, I'm not sure if you guys have necessarily been around the such large, quasi-arachnids, or xeno-arachnids, I guess, before too, but these things seem like about as friendly and domesticated as what, like, horses might be.
Oh.
So they're pretty good about taking a harness on. They're pretty good about getting set up. Between the people who can walk and the people who and the other folks, they're basically assuming there's going to be one wagon for each, or one wagon that's going to be a regular like wheeled thing, and then they're going to set up a train up to your air raft. It's about 20 minutes you've been working, Gunny, when you hear the sound from down below of the report of a Gauss rifle.
Oh.
And then a second.
Is Reza still near me?
Third. Reza was down helping with the current.
Right.
Everyone kind of stops and looks at one another.
Okay, if Mashka's there, I'll ask her what's down there.
They were down collecting the last train of Striders. Rez is down there.
Dave, Rama is still, or have you already left to try to?
She's just, you can assume she's going to come scampering back into the cul-de-sac. Okay. Yeah.
I'll turn the Rama. So about that hover bike, I think that might be the only way out.
You have one train hooked up to one wagon thus far.
So, well, that's gonna...
It would involve leaving the air raft behind and all the tech that's on it.
So, okay. So, essentially, based on what Mashka's saying, this is all we have to get out of here. And all we will have.
And it would be about...
Sounds like...
It would be about a 10-hour march to get there, right? Because it's about 4 kilometers an hour. It's 50 kilometers away. These folks already have been pretty burned out. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just giving you the proper context. A lot of these folks have been also under siege until you guys arrived, too. So, like, they were fighting their neighbors up until this point. Then you guys showed up. The sanctions showed up after a few hours.
Maybe if you'd just scare the neighbors off instead of blowing up all their trucks.
I mean, I didn't necessarily intend to blow up the trucks.
Well, you did. That was pretty cool.
I did.
So Mashka is like, it's down there. And Nita is like, it's down there then. It's killing them.
It did just tell us where its position is.
We should just go make it disappear.
I mean, I don't know what else. At this point, it's looking increasingly less likely that escape is really a viable option for us.
And like you said, if we get rid of this one, maybe there's a delay before others arrive.
And with any hope, that either gives these people a chance to, I don't know, go somewhere, or
yeah.
if the sanction, if enough time passes, the sanction is going to assume that we went to ground again. It's gonna have to start all over again when it makes planetfall, then try to figure out where Mashka went. And by the time it figures out that we left the planet, and remember, sanctions are sent to a planet.
No.
Sanctions are on the planet.
It's only this planet, Andrew.
I'm sorry.
You don't know it has limited communication. It could have already communicated what's going on and asked for help.
I thought that the thing came here. Sorry, Kev.
That's okay.
We need to take this out and then book her, because we don't know how long it's going to be if more are coming. We know we've got some time, but we don't know how much.
Yeah. Then let's go. I mean, Reza's down there with Javi's gun, but he's not going to be able to put up much of a fight.
Dr. Mara, are you coming with?
I can.
All right.
Gunny, give us a heavy weapons and intellect check, please.
Heavy weapons with intellect. Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You ever seen Full Metal Jacket?
Yeah.
Remember one of the final scenes involving the sniper?
I'm actually drawing a blank. It's been a long time since I've seen Full Metal Jacket.
Anyone else seen it more recently where they can remind Gunny of...
If it's
No, I haven't seen it for a
set up
long
down there,
time.
we don't. If it's set up down there, we don't go down there because it'll just pick us apart.
And Gunny, as a infantry expert, you would know as well, too, one of the ways that you draw out a squad is incapacitate one, but don't kill them to get the others continually out to try and
Right.
save them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm not saying that's what's
Definitely
happening. You can't hear anything from downstairs. After the report of those 3 shots, there's nothing further that you've heard from down there.
Right.
Does the Reza or whatever have a comm? Can we talk?
I don't. I was just talking with Reza like face to face, so I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, there's nothing for it. That thing's not going to come back. We're not going to be able to. It's not going to come back up here into an obvious trap. So, at some point, we're going to have to go and find it, and we're just going to have to do that, knowing that it's most likely setting up some sort of ambush or trap for us.
Do we have anything that could? Could we sneak down with some like radios or something and leave them on, and then talk into the radios like we're coordinating down there, but we're actually on the Dust Striders leaving? We can sit there and it's hunkered down little strategic spot for a bit while we're saying goodbye. And
I don't know that our earpieces are like. I don't think the speakers are very powerful. I think it's meant to be like a direct in-ear thing.
But I'm not talking about our tech. I'm talking about their tech.
Oh,
Do they have some like old walkie-talkie type stuff where we can just like go down and put a couple of things and turn the volume up and it's like, yeah, okay, well, stay there. I think he's over on the left, and put on a little show. This is Rama, right? She's like, I don't want a direct confrontation. I want to like get away while he thinks we're down there.
Right.
Yeah. The equivalent of like putting an old record player on in the middle of the room.
Yeah. I mean, we know that there is a radio here that Javi was planning on using to jam the what do you call it? The sanctions ability to like interfere with. I can't remember if he was planning on using it to interfere with the sanctions comms, or if it was to get like to deal with the ECCM kind of stuff, like get rid of the jamming. But I know there is a radio that you guys have been using to access here, or to contact this place when you first landed. Who's got electronics, communications, ideally?
I have electronics.
I do, but I don't have any training or anything in it.
Yeah, you do. You got electronics remote ops.
Oh, especially, I thought that was a separate thing on the sheet. Okay.
Okay. If you have a electronics at 0 or electronics with any specialization, that just means if you're not using comms, you use a 0. So, what do you think? Picture like a, 50 style ham radio kind of thing. That's the size of this thing. How do you think you might make use of that? And to give you an idea of the types of tunnels, guys, this isn't quite right because it's not as well lit, but so I'll give you a little bit of a sci-fi tunnel vibe to play with here.
That is much different than I imagined. So yeah,
These are the corridors in this
as you're
settlement.
kind of making your way down, I imagine it's probably much more concrete and certainly a lot less lighting. But it was the one I have loaded already. So I actually, to give you another one to kind of work from it as far as the lighting is concerned, I thought this was pretty good as well. This is a much more, actually with the tech level here, this is probably not far off, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me just, boom, there we go. Yeah, I forgot that it's low TL here. So there you are, guys. What could possibly go wrong with a tunnel fight with a cyborg, assassin?
I mean, all we need to do is find the big barrels with the black X's for TNT on them and lure it in the air and then set off a firecracker.
Mm.
Wait a second. That's not a terrible idea. If it's down there, it's in the tunnels, can we just seal the tunnel off and then make it go? Do we know if there's other entrances?
Well, this isn't the tunnel between settlements. This is just the interior corridors of this city. So presumably that has a lot of intersections and ways to.
Right. Yeah.
But that gets me. Your idea gets me thinking. I was joking about gunpowder barrels, but you know what these corridors are? Narrow. And you know what happens to explosives when they're in a confined space with no exit or air hole to get out? It increases the potency of the explosive.
Mm-hmm.
So
if we were to lure this thing into a small tunnel and find a way to collapse each side but have explosives on the inside and blow them off, it might have a much bigger impact than it otherwise would. We'd have to somehow seal off a tunnel though.
Right.
And I don't know how effective it'll be. And all I've got is flashbangs, so I don't even know if we have any actual ordnance.
Well, we need to find Reza and find out if he's still alive.
Mm-hmm.
So you can picture there's probably a fairly wide, like you see in here, wide enough to be able to move a wagon down, because the wagon and the Dust Rider pens would be somewhere down here, right? Yeah. So there's got to be a wide enough place to be able to bring them up to the cul-de-sac and then take them outside if need be. What that means is at least you've got to go down, and then it's probably only about maybe like a 5-minute walk, maybe, to be able to get to where the stables are.
I'm pretty stealthy. I'm gonna sneak down there and see if I can find Rez.
Okay. Why don't you give us a stealth? Oh, you got your. Well, this guy's net only covers your head, so yeah. Go ahead and give us a stealth check, please.
I'll report back on comms.
Okay. You got this, Mama.
Now, again, that'll be the number that I'm rolling for to spot you.
And we have 4 luck?
You have 4 luck. What are you thinking?
Now we have 3.
So I'm going to put it at a 10?
10. Let's make it a little more challenging.
Okay. Then why don't you give us a recon check as well? And I'll roll the stealth for whatever else might be down there. Okay. So, you can picture, I'm assuming you're not bringing any light with you, and I don't believe you have any, let's see here, portable computer. Oh, you have light intensifier goggles, Dave.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, very nice.
So that actually
don't have dark vision, but I have light intensifier goggles.
Absolutely. Again, we're in the third act of a bunch of films apparently right now, because this is the third act of Silence of the Lambs. So you've got your goggles on, and you head down into the pitch blackness. Do you have your weapon out as well?
Yes.
Okay. As you make your way down, the first little bit, you kind of, I'm assuming, go to the side and you try and like hug every shadow that you can. There is poor lighting down here as well. It's not a long walk around the corner, and getting down here too, the first smell is, it is the smell of like an animal pen, but it's so, you got to imagine how different it must be with, you know, xenoarachnids instead of horses or cows or, you know, whatever, the kind of thing. It's got a very familiar but also very unusual stench down here. You can hear the sound of the Dust Riders, because you've heard them up sound. It's not a clopping sound the way like a horse's hooves are, because there's a little bit of hollowness in these chitons too. So there's a bit of like almost, you know, plastic tubes kind of hitting that dunk, 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 of them moving around. And you can hear a group of them are clearly kind of like battering up against the stables. They're agitated by something, and you can hear that from well off. They also make a bit of a hissing sound too. And that's all you hear when you get down into the blackness of this. As you come around the corner, getting close to where the entrance of the stables are, that's where you can see the boots sticking out. Someone is on the ground, and their legs are up and then into the blackness. With your light intensifying goggles, you can see that it is a fallen form. It isn't Reza, it's one of the other two people who were with him.
Okay.
If you're looking around, you can see that there is, when you move to another shadow, you can see the hilt or the butt of Gunny's gun on the ground inside the stable. And craning your head just within there, you can see as well Reza is on the ground, not moving.
Not moving.
From where you are, you can get a good enough angle on the first person. They look like they were shot in the back. And the level of trauma on this is... you've seen a Gauss rifle. Actually, I don't know. A Gauss rifle is like a no fuck around military weapon. It's not the kind of thing, because it blows through walls and stuff as well. It's not the kind of thing you typically see in like street fights and things like that. If you bring a Gauss pistol or a Gauss rifle to a street fight, for one, you got too much money, and two, you're going to blow through the walls of any interior walls in a building with your shot too. So it's a stupid weapon to use unless you're, you know, needing to shoot through an engine block like they did on your air raft. The level of trauma on this chest, though, is for sure the kind of thing you would expect if you shot flesh with a Gauss rifle. There's barely anything left in the center portion of the torso.
Can I guess that which direction, like not like exact, but like which hallway that might be coming from?
Yeah. You're able to tell us how you cleverly reposition yourself, because you're going to spot whatever is lurking down here before it sees you.
Years of living on the streets and trying to stay out of trouble or stay away from authorities, and just knowing instinctually, I think, when to move, when not to move, and you know where to find those deeper shadows.
And I think maybe you think like, oh, up. And you're quite agile. You've got 2 in athletics dexterity. So like it's nothing for you to scramble up into one of the, you know, it's maybe not a gangplank that's leading along, but it's probably like pipes that lead along a thing that you can easily make your way along. So you get up there and they're still exposed, because this is, you know, not exactly a very high-tech, you know, environment, and you're able to kind of shimmy along them. So no one can see you. You're not going to have an angle. And what you can see just at the point where there is a line of sight into the either the spot where those boots are illuminated from the first person you saw, or the entrance to the stables themselves. You see first that bone mask, and it is sitting there. It's it's rifle. Something extremely high tech, but it's got, unlike Gunny's, which is clearly it is a tool. This thing has all sorts of filigree and extra detail that is kind of lost in you at this range and in this lighting. Like, your light augmenting goggles definitely help, but there's a degree of diffusion that would come with that. So it's lost, but you can see there's every inch of this thing has carving on the outside of it, as if it's a treasured, item, almost a sacred relic, you would say. And it is clearly in an overwatch position, waiting for someone to just come down the hallway. And it is still as well.
Yeah. Time to make my not so swift and not so obvious departure. Sorry, Gunny, I was thinking about getting your gun, but it's not happening.
See,
It's not mine. It's Hobby's.
Okay.
I've got mine. Nobody touches my gun but me.
So you're able to move yourself back. You probably could get to a place where you could, with a good enough stealth roll and you spending luck on it, you could try and activate your comm bud and then just translate before you get back up to everybody, or...
Yeah, I think I'll wait until I get, a little ways away so I know it's safe.
Okay.
And I'll be like, there's nobody alive down here. And it's got a great position on the stables and waiting for someone to come down.
10 minutes more of work to get your work done, Gunny, but that would mean then switching the one team of Striders over to your vehicle instead of the one that they're hooked up to right now.
Should I just come down to you?
It's in a secure position.
Do you see any other entrances? Any other?
Yeah, it's like a maze down here. There's no way we can pin it down.
You know who could tell you that, though?
I was just about to ask. I'd turn to Mashka.
I could take that hallway with Dr. Mara, and you could loop around behind it, perhaps.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I just need to find a way to do that. Did you tell me about Reza?
I said nobody's alive down here.
Okay. So I'll switch. I'll keep the channel open, but I'll switch. Look up. I'll turn to Mashka and Nita. Rama's saying it doesn't look like anyone's alive down there.
There's like 2 people who break down crying.
But it seems like the creature is holed up in a position down there. Do you know of it? Go ahead.
I'm just gonna say, Dr. Mara's gonna go down there. You said Mashka's down there?
No. Mashka's
here.
Mashka and Nita are with you. It was 2 other folks from
2 other people.
Community,
okay.
And Reza. Reza is down there.
Oh, Reza. Okay, not Mashka. Okay, I'm misunderstood.
Gunny, did we have you spend any XP on tactics? I can't remember if we talked about that before.
You know what? Honestly, let me go look, because to be frank, I'm pretty sure. Yep. Look at that. And January 29th. Oh my God, Andrew.
Nice. So
3 skill points as of January 29th. So God, Lord knows how many I have that I've just never spent because I just keep forgetting to do
was
it.
1 per session. Have you taken tactics? So you did. I thought you did in the previous session for some reason. If it's listed there, because remember you have to add the skills in. You actually have to take the step to add them to your list. If tactics is listed on your character sheet, then you did add it at some point in a previous session. I just don't remember if you did or not. You didn't.
I don't see it.
So then, if you'd like, you could spend an XP to get 0 in tactics. It's one of those things I imagine you would have had.
Tactics. Yep.
Okay.
I'll do that.
And then make sure you set it as trained. So put the little check mark.
Sorry, I'm just also updating.
Oh, your XP? Yeah.
Yeah, just so that, which should be 5 if it was 1 every session because I just haven't bothered spending anything. Okay.
So if you think you should have a higher tactics, you could actually spend another point to get that to a 1 if you wanted.
Yeah, might as well. In level 1. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll do that.
So then, you see where the X is? Yeah, there you go. Perfect. And yeah, it would be intellect that you'd be using for it. So if you get her to show you because you did have the your hubby, the former civil engineer, did have access to the blueprints of this place.
Right. I mean, we weren't here long, but
No,
hubby's pretty good at what he does.
he is. So I think to be able to identify a place in order to work your way around here, it'll be a difficulty of 8 to identify a way to get behind this thing. Because there probably has got to be other ways to do it. It's just a matter of taking time and noticing it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Then that'll work. Mara, what are you doing?
I don't know, probably loading the patients or helping the people who are still, I mean, fresh off surgery or quite injured to get loaded up to move out of here. I don't know.
I mean, I'm like
you asking
down
for
there. I'm
something?
abandoning
Yeah.
the repair. Like the skimmer's not going to get repaired if I go down there.
Yes, sure. Okay. I mean, I can try. I have 0. I've as much chance of like
It's either
damage.
I go down there to help Rama, or you go down there to help Rama. And
No,
two
you
of
go,
us-
No.
you go down there.
Yeah, and if you don't have its
Why don't
minus...
you both come down here? Why don't you both come down here and we'll help kill this thing, and then we'll have all the time in the world to fix the skimmer.
Yeah, I'll come help you.
Does Mara have any... does Dr. Mara have any training in stealth?
None in stealth, no.
Maybe you should stay up there then, Dr. Mara.
Dr. Mara could tell you in, physiologically accurate detail what the impact of a Gauss round on unprotected flesh is. So, Gunny, difficulty 8. Tactics check here.
And no modifiers for this. Yep.
No modifiers. No.
Yeah. Okay. Oh my God.
You have 3 luck left.
What did I roll? Like a 1? And 2.
You rolled a 5 plus 1. So, do you want to spend 2 luck? That'll give you your way around.
Yeah, this is all depending on this. Like, this doesn't go well if I don't. So, 2 luck to bring it up to an 8.
So then it's a matter of you and Rama coordinating to get Gunny in position. Gunny is going to have to make a stealth check in order to sneak up behind the murder cyborg.
Only 1 luck.
With
You
1
need
luck left.
Do you
And-
need a stealth? What if you don't need what if you need a diversion instead of a stealth check? If it's shooting at me,
I mean, remember, it's got a weapon like just like mine. It can punch through pretty much anything down there. So you better have a damn good hiding spot.
I don't stop behind wooden walls or whatever. If it's 6 feet of stone, maybe, but
yeah, the adage I've said this before too, but there's a great adage in one of the old White Wolf source books to talk about the damaging power of a machine gun round. Like, picture yourself standing in the middle of a downtown of any major urban center, and picture yourself looking around at everything you see there: cars, concrete, people, park benches, things like that, trees. Nothing you see can stop that round.
Yeah.
But there's also dodging, though. Because because it can punch through things, it still needs to hit you.
Well, yeah, and I was thinking, like, I would run past the, because I've seen the area, so I'll run past. It'll get one shot at me, and it'll be against somebody who's running, and more difficult to hit, kind of thing.
Yep.
And then while it's like searching for me and reloading, that'll hopefully give you some kind of bonus or advantageous a chance to sneak up behind it.
Not for nothing, Dave. It's your athletics dex that is applied as a penalty to their attack on you when you dodge.
Yeah.
So on top of that, you've also got things. And if you get a stealth check, I'll also impose a bane on the shot. Because if you sneak up and then suddenly make noise, it'll be less able to, like, track the sound and track the shot.
Yeah. I'm in.
Okay.
I'll set you up, Gunny.
So, Gunny, let's start with you.
All right.
And if he hits me, just take him out.
Give us a stealth check to get yourself in position.
If he hits you, yeah, I better take him out because I'm humped otherwise. Okay, stealth. Here we go.
Nice roll. Okay.
Yeah, because Rama might need that one luck.
Okay. So, Gunny, tell me what's going through your mind as you make your way out to a different place that has a back access, and you're trying to remember your way in this pitch blackness of how to get to where you are.
Well, in terms of the pitch blackness, I'm going to use, because we established I have this on the scope of the rifle. I'm using the scope's night vision to try to help me. I mean, it's awkward because of the zoom, but to best I can, using that to help navigate.
You also have combat armor on too, though, and like combat armor typically comes with a helmet. It's not on your illustration there. But,
that's a good point. Yeah, and the combat and the helmet I'd be wearing, because it's going to be augmented with night vision, with all sorts of like a heads-up display and everything.
Yeah, I'm just checking here. Yeah, all weapons used while wearing combat armor count as having the scope trait. And it had low light, I think, was what, because of the tech level that you're at. It automatically includes augmentation, so you'll have that kind of not only the thing, but you'll also have the little tracking symbol that'll go where a smart gun kind of link.
Nice. Okay. So I'll be using that to help myself navigate, because I'm not going to turn on a single exterior light to the suit, obviously.
Yep.
But I think while she's making her way down here, it's Javi in her mind. It's Javi. Like a couple of sessions ago, where he was trying to calm her down, because even a veteran like her, seeing the sanction really jarred her and spooked her. So she's holding on to that. It's his voice telling her to breathe, and that she's using to keep moving forward in this, and that's helping her keep her breath regulated, her steps measured. And helping her stay focused and paying attention to where she's going, so that she can get to the spot she needs to.
Okay. So we see you get to a position. Your next move, it should have line of sight on this thing. So now it's just a matter of getting Rama to make her move. And I'm assuming you guys know as well, because you can't talk, you just sort of like activate the comm twice to say you're in position.
Yeah, gonna use for sure.
Yeah. Rama, you hear that. We'll assume you got yourself into position. Once again, we're going to roll your stealth first. But what's going through Rama's mind? Gunny's armor, I will tell you, there's it's not a zero chance, but there's a chance she could take a shot from a Gauss rifle. Your ballistic cloth jacket.
The hull of a spaceship can't withstand a Gauss rifle, but my 1-inch armor plating can, or centimeter thick armor can.
Well,
what has it got?
It can. It depends on how glancing the shot is. Hitting the side of a spaceship, there is that proverbial, broadside of a barn. It's more a matter of it's hard not to hit the spaceship at that time. This, you might survive. Rama, very unlikely. What's going through your mind?
Exactly that. Rama's like, why did I volunteer for this? Why am I doing this? It should be a hobby thing. This should be and it's anybody else but me thing. Why am I'm not supposed to be the brave one. I'm supposed to be the one who's slinking in the shadows and just oh my God.
So why don't you give us a stealth check then? See how well you position yourself here. So you got yourself in your position, and what do we see?
So the comm clicking thing, it was counting down. So 3 clicks is I'm getting close, 2 clicks is I'm in position, and 1 click is I'm ready to go.
Okay.
So she's so now it's 1 click and.
Okay. You race into the most lit area. I have a Bane on this shot. And I have -2 because of your athletics. So I need a 10 in order to hit you. And I'm dropping the highest dice I roll. You can feel the sort of kinetic hit. You think you're shot for a moment. And then you realize it's just the feeling of the displacement of air as this thing narrowly misses you. Gunny, it's your turn. You're going to be making this shot with a Bane as well because you're doing a snapshot.
I'm assuming that just in the cul-de-sac, it's revealed its position and I know it.
Yep, you can turn around. You can make a clear shot.
Okay. All right.
So you're going to roll with a Bane.
Great. Okay. Gauss rifle, dexterity, Bane. Yeah, okay.
Did you
no modifiers.
Your scope will grant you +1.
Okay.
Using luck earlier on that stealth.
We still have 1 luck point left. I used 2 luck on my tactics roll to get it to 8.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Luck left.
You go. They didn't roll. Oh, did it roll a Bane? Oh, I think we saw this before. Was it fucking up and
not? Yeah, it's not rolling the Banes or the that's right too. So I need to roll a second D6 and subtract it, right?
No. Just if you happen to roll a 1, we subtract 1 from it. You got to hit there regardless. But give us a D6 roll. Yeah. So the 6 we would ignore. That is an effective 2. That is a 15 plus 2 is 17. Did you fire full auto again?
Oh yeah. No, not full auto. We're doing the burst shots for higher.
Burst shots with 3 more damage. You can hear the ringing in your ears. It takes a while for the effect of these 2 things. They seem to come almost simultaneously, but there's the thunderclap of the shot on you, and almost immediately afterwards is the thunderclap of Gunny's rounds going off. And Gunny, this thing is splayed on the ground. Its gun has fallen forward, and it is not moving.
Does Rama have a weapon of any kind?
Yeah.
Okay.
But she's gonna run for Javi's weapon.
Yeah, actually, I would probably Rama, get Javi's weapon. I've got eyes. If it makes a move, I'm gonna shoot it again.
Finish it anyways.
Actually, yeah. Why the hell am I waiting?
It's not moving. Shoot it.
It's not moving. I shoot it right in the head.
Yeah, if you can just step forward and pick a couple more. You've got 80 rounds in your Gauss rifle. So it just sounds like, Dr. Mara, it sounds like there are a series of minor explosions going off down below. And then as the last, and like it blasts this thing's armor to bits. There is no question that there was a human person inside there. And then the last shot shatters that the skull-like mask. The Sanction is dead.
Loot it.
So you said there's no question that the Sanction was essentially an exosuit with a human being inside of it?
Correct. Rama, if you run into the stable, you can see the ruined remains of the Sanction. Everyone else is dead down here.
So obviously, and tell Gunny, it had a really cool gun. It had all kinds of filigree and stuff. I don't know much about guns, but
yeah. We're taking that. We're taking everything. In fact, actually, what we should do is come down and take the whole body with us. Any evidence that this thing was ever here should be removed.
Firing like you can definitely do that. Dr. Mark could help you, but I mean, you've also emptied a fair number of Gauss rounds into this thing. It's a heck of a mess as well. The gun, fortunately, the gun was cast away, and it is Gunny, imagine, have you ever seen like a Giselle rifle before? It's like they were Afghani sharpshooters, and they'd have these weapons, these like not Garand rifles, but older style, rifles that would be passed down by generation, and they would end up, while they would start as like a European, rifle of some kind, they'd end up with all this like design and stuff all along the whole length of them. If you look up a Giselle rifle, they're just gorgeous. That's what this thing looks like. Imagine a high-tech Gauss sniper rifle, but that generations of people have added all these kind of like little illuminations onto it. And what you see, the recurring motifs, is the same things you saw before on that amulet. This is a Sanctions rifle.
And it looks like there's a certain amount of ceremony attached to this weapon as well.
Oh, most definitely. This is an incredibly well-maintained weapon.
Almost like the kind of thing that's going to scare the shit out of anybody I pointed at, especially another Sanction.
Most definitely.
Oh, interesting.
How did we get this Sanction? I wonder.
Yeah, that's very true.
There's only one way I'm getting this gun.
100% right.
Okay, well, not me. I mean, Rama, you should have a gun.
So with the Sanction down, you guys now have time to complete everything else that you require. So you're able to get the it's only another 10 minutes of work. You've got the anti-grav working again. Where do you guys want to go?
One thing I just want to check on I'm assuming that basically we made a mess of this thing sufficiently, but like, is there any indication on the Sanctions armor of like a transmitter that's going off or emitting in any way?
If you wish to, I think you could use the you can do a thorough search and make sure that there is nothing that is on or that is transmitting. You probably find a satchel that would have some other supplies on it, including a bunch of those little medallions. There is a couple of, from fighting before, this thing had that arc rifle, that arc blade on it as well.
Oh, yeah, that thing was cool.
Yeah, so you're going to be able to recover that as well. Because
I was mostly, but that's really cool. I was mostly just trying to think like, if it's got an auto send upon death message that it sends back to HQ or something like that.
If it does, you're not able to find something. Yeah.
Then let's assume it does, and let's not waste any time.
Here's the arc field. This is right there. That's what an arc field blade looks like.
Sweet.
I go destroy its bike.
There is also the thing. Now, are you checking for any kind of booby traps.
I'm assuming it's booby trapped, and I'm just thinking we would just look for a booby trap and then try to remotely set it off or something.
Sure. Why don't you give us a intellect and streetwise check? Okay. What you find is it isn't booby trapped, but it is disabled. It's got some kind of, like they've taken something so that the thing is disabled. It isn't that it's going to blow anybody up, but you would need like a missing component in order to do that, and you could probably find that on the sanction in its little satchel. Because who here, on this planet, other than a sanction, would know how to hot wire a hover cycle?
Nobody. Hey, do you want a hover cycle? I think we should take it.
Why not? With that room in the...
So, guys, how do you wish to leave things with the people on Chamois? Because you're going to have sufficient time in either to travel to the ship or travel back to Celsea with everybody, or to leave everybody here now that the sanction is down.
Do they want to leave? Because we could leave them somewhere safe and then take off with Nita and... I don't know. Go to other city.
I think
and then
with a number of people, from what Dr. Amara has said, there's a lot of people who should not be. It's a risk to transport them.
Okay,
so if they need a couple of days, what they'll propose, if they're getting Mashka off planet and getting you guys away, is a priority. If Gunny finishes hot wiring the thing to be able to at least, hover, have the anti-grav functional, and have the Dust Striders drag it out, they could take the couple of days to transport you out to your ship, ride along on a Dust Strider, and then take the other two back, the ones that are dragging your vehicle, back with them.
Okay, yeah, that's good.
By the time they get back, that should give sufficient time for the people to recover, and then they can make their way to Celsea whenever they're well enough to do so.
One thing we could do too is once we're back to the ship, I don't know. Well, actually, there's nothing we can bring because our ship's pretty much empty at this point. Because we'll make it back. Like as soon as we're on the ship, 20 minutes, we can come back here with our ship.
But you can't land though.
There's nowhere to land.
That's the problem.
Oh, right.
Otherwise, we would have brought it right here.
Yeah.
Well, I thought we had left it to have some sort of like stealthy approach as well.
No, you try to get the closest place to it because you guys were planning on making that big. Right. We're going to sell stuff. Yeah.
So it's essentially like we can only take our original people off. That's it. No one else will.
Yeah.
Okay.
But maybe there's some medical supplies that we can send back from the ship that'll help some of those people. If Dr. Marek knows what.
You do have a good enough pilot who could hover, and then the air raft could deploy. Come down. I mean, the air raft would have to be repaired as well. But
well, I meant just we get to the ship. They get us to the ship. Dr. Mar goes in and grabs a few extra medical supplies.
Oh, it's even better. Yeah.
Bring them back with their people, and that'll help expedite the healing and get people moving again.
Yeah, it's not much, but it's something we can do. Other than keeping their revolution alive.
Even the revolution.
And Doctor, anything you wish to contribute before you leave Chamois?
Just that this place was nothing like I had imagined, and this whole journey had a lot of twists and turns compared to what she was expecting. And I think she's seeing there's a lot of good in the world she can do, not just in this world, but saving people. Maybe she's going to she had sort of moved away from her medical practice and on to being a politician, or trying to. And I think she's seeing that going back to her roots gives her great reward in life. So I think she's kind of leaving a changed person a little bit.
Then, as you guys are leaving orbit, here is Chamois in the Lady Luck. We have, I believe it's 2 weeks until you're going to reach back to Trin. What do you guys wish to leave our session and your time on Chamois with? Where would we find our when we go back to the deck plans of the Lady Luck? Where do we find our travelers once you're in orbit? I'm assuming the captain is the one at the stick. Javi may be co-piloting.
We did check the ship for booby traps and trackers, right?
I think Javi may have taken care of that for you.
Okay.
Rama's in just kind of like 13 in the common area, sitting at one of the tables and drinking whatever the strongest alcohol is we have on the ship, because she's like, why the hell did I do that? She's probably still like, like the adrenaline's come down, and so now it's like, that was the stupidest thing I've ever done, and I know it was for a good reason, but what? Not doing that again.
Gunny?
Kind of the reality hits her.
Yeah.
I think Gunny, once the course is set and everything, Gunny's probably in the is there an actual armory or just a cargo hold?
There is a ship's locker. That's typically where you store all the weapons and stuff like that.
I'll be in there. Gunny collector. Oh geez. I'd be in there, and I would probably be doing two things. One, just studying and admiring that rifle and sword. To be clear, I'm not claiming them, guys. Like, I'm not laying claim to them. We can discuss who gets. I'm just as a martial expert. I'm just fascinated by these things. Doing that, and while doing so, like literally catching her breath and trying to process what just happened, and the fact that like these things are not supposed to be like, these things are supposed to be not killable. They're supposed to be monsters. And just kind of coming to terms with the realization that they're not, and that she just did. And it's kind of overwhelming to her.
Okay. Dr. Mara, what do we leave you with?
I think we see Dr. Mara. She has some of her old, I don't know if they'd be books. Yeah, maybe she's got some actual physical medical books that she's got out, that she's like rereading some of her stuff, because she, 8 hours was too long for all those surgeries. This should have been done in 4,
Yeah. That's awesome.
To be taking all that time.
Awesome.
So she's brushing up on her skills.
Then that is where we'll leave our travelers until 2 weeks, and I think we're probably going to skip you guys dropping off what do you call it, Mashka with her father and whatnot, and pick up with you guys pursuing a new employment opportunity, because guys, you are ready for care package now. So everyone gets 1 XP. And let's head back to our main screen and make with the outro.
This is becoming just like our Night Below campaign.
What's that?
In that, it takes us a while to get to the actual thing to the namesake of the adventure.
This is amazing. You know what? It's
That's not criticism. To be clear, it's
no. It's just that's the pace we play these our adventures anyway. But it's also, I think that there was. Like, the intent of doing a short mission to get you guys up to speed is, for one, to not only get familiar with the characters and the rules. There's a way of kind of playing Traveler that's a little different from how we play like D&D and stuff like that, or similar kind of fantasy type games. And you guys fucking killed it. Like, you absolutely knocked it out of the park as far as what I expect from a typical Traveler play session. So you guys are ready for your next gig, which will involve a little more decision making, because you're going to have to pick a path in order to get to somewhere. You're going to have to do a little more legwork. But it should be really interesting. And I think you guys are absolutely adequately prepared now. Dr. Mara is ready to piece, any further damage to you guys back together. But for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for part 9 of Care Package. As is always the case, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session, the game, or the adventure we're playing, please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section down below, and I'll endeavor to reply to you in a timely fashion. There's also a link down below to the Dungeon Musings Discord server, where we have channels dedicated to Traveler, to many of the other campaigns and games we run on the channel, as well as things like finding a group, GM discussion, virtual tabletop chat. There's a terrific community of helpful, knowledgeable, and friendly players over there, so you are more than welcome to join us. There's also a link down below to our friends at Noble Knight Games. Noble Knight Games is the preeminent unionized retailer of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs in North America. Not only do they have an incredible selection of new role-playing games, board games, and card games, they have an unmatched selection of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs. If you make a purchase of $10 or more through their website, be sure to enter the code HAPPYMUSEYEAR. It's listed in the description of the video. It's easier to type than it is to say. It'll save you 10% on any purchase of $10 or more through their website. And if you're listening to this after April 15, 2025, come back to one of our more recent videos and we'll have what the current discount code is listed there. Last thing I will say is a huge thank you to our stalwart travelers. Congratulations on facing a sanction and surviving the experience. So Jeffrey, Dave, and Andrew, thank you so much for playing tonight, guys. Congratulations on your successful job to Chamois. And for those listening at home, we'll be back with the crew of the Lady Luck back on Trin and in search of their next job in 1 week's time. But until then, we hope that we gave you an hour or so of time to take your mind off the troubles of our world and think about the troubles that our travelers have encountered on the surface of Chamois. And until we see you again, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy gaming.